Hello everybody, this is Deidre with Papercrafts and Planners, and I was working on a project today. I'm making these boxes for my grandchildren for Halloween, to put their little Halloween treats and gifts in, and I thought I'd do the final one. I have 4 grandchildren, so this is for my oldest, and they're each a little bit different. I'm not doing them the same. This one I haven't finished decorating, but this one will likely be for my one of the younger grandchildren, one of my younger grandsons. And then this one is going to be for my granddaughter. This is the color she will like, and I'm going to put some pinks and purples on it. And so this is what they look like inside. And they are 6 across, so they're 6-inch squares, and they're 3 tall for the box part itself. And the lid fits on snugly, so you can't put anything in here that's more than 3 inches tall. Okay, but you can see how each double-sided paper is preferable because you can see inside how you fold that over and it looks really cool. The tag on here I just made with cutting it by hand. I just cut this tag by hand and I put a little sticker spider on here, and this is a stamp set, his name, piece of washi tape. So when you make these, you might want to have some stickers, decorations, some letters, a stamp set that you want to use to decorate, or however you want to decorate it. You can be all stickers. I'm using this Skeletons Dance one from Fun Stamper's Journey. Okay. For me, I needed a scoring tool. If you can do this without a scoring board or some way to score, more power to you, but I cannot. This is my handy Had Forever Martha Stewart scoreboard. I want to use this little tip to score with. I don't really care for the tools that come with these scoring boards. It's too easy to get off track. I like something like this better. This is my bone folder, scissors, and double-sided tape, and that's what I'm going to be using for this. Okay, so first of all, on the printed paper, we are going to score it on each side. Oops, wrong tip. These kinds of tools are really nice to have, I will say. They come with, let me see if I can find all the different tips over here without bumping too much. Okay, now they fell down in there. But this one has like a brush tip and a scraper tip and sharp tips, pointer, and then it has one like this and one with a bigger ball on it. So these are really nice to have, these types of tools. Okay, so we're going to score at 1 1/4 and at 3. Now, when you're doing this, you don't want to press really, really hard on this type of paper, this double-sided printed paper, because it is lighter than cardstock. So, I mean, give it a nice press, but don't, don't get right in there and go over and over at it because you can crack it. So 1 1/4 and 3. And you can see how I'm just turning it each time so that I get each side. So this is so simple, just 1 1/4 and 3 in from each end. Okay, and then I'm going to fold this up. I love the other side of this too, though. It can kind of give you a headache, I think. But this paper's so cute with all the candy on it. Even though the grandchild I'm making it for cannot have candy yet. And I'm not really sure if any of you have ideas of what to put in this box for my younger 2. I mean, I know there are little treats I can get for the one that's, I guess he's 22 months now. Yes, his birthday's coming up towards the end of the year. And then the other one is 10 months old. Well, not quite, almost 10 months. So if you've got some ideas of things I can put in here for them other than like a pacifier for the 10-month-old, that would be nice. Any ideas are welcome. The older 2 are easy. They just want glow-in-the-dark stuff, candy, things like that. So, okay, this one you can go a little firmer on, and you can even go over it more than once, so it's a little easier to fold. And we're going to do 3 inches, just no 1 1/4, just 3 inches on every side. Okay? Could not be easier. And if you have one of those, like I have the slicer scoring tool, you can use that too. I just find this easier when I've got these big pieces, these 12 by 12, and I'm going to be doing, flipping it and doing every side. I just find it easier. And sometimes I like to get these started a little bit at the top so I'm not getting off track as I'm running down. That's the only thing about these scoring boards. You can get off track easily. Okay, so let's put this away. We are done with that. Simple enough, right? And if you don't have a scoring tool, those Martha Stewart ones, you can always use a 40% off coupon, and they usually have them in stock at Michael's. And they're a really nice tool to have if you're going to be doing this kind of thing, which I hope you will. They're fun to do. I know some of you follow me just for planners, and so if you clicked on this video, maybe you'll consider making something like this. Or if you watch me just for planners, you probably did not click on this video at all. Okay, so we're going to fold this one, and of course it's twice. And I'm just doing this so that my folds are not only really crisp and straight, but so that I can see them, because I'm going to do some cutting. It's easier to see them if I've given a really good crease. My folds are nice. So the hardest part of this project, and it's not hard, but the hardest part of it probably is seeing your score lines here. And also, let's see, it was easier to see on this one a little bit. And also making sure that you're folding this, you're squaring up your corners as you're folding this, because otherwise your lid will not fit on your box. Okay, so here we have this line here, we have this line here, and we have this line here. Now all I need to keep out of this big portion here is this tab right there that I'm going to create. So first thing, I'm going to cut all the way up this outside line to the next score line. I want to stop right there on this score line, okay? Then I'm going to cut up on the next one, the 3-inch one, and again, just up to the next score line. So you can see, just like that, okay? Now I'm going to cut this whole piece off right there at that score line. Right there. And then I'm going to cut this end piece off, okay? Set it down because I'm not getting this very straight as I'm trying to hold it in the air and cut. Not my best idea. And you could see I'm off a little bit there. So, well, I don't know if you could see, but I can now that I've put it down. So I'm going to come back in and trim that off a little bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just slant my corners just a little bit. It doesn't have to be done huge. It just makes it easier when you fold these kinds of things if you've got a little bit of a slant to them. And I want to slant that all the way up a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing on all 4 sides. And I know you may not be able to see it, but when you do this for yourself, you absolutely will be able to see where these lines are. And it's easier on the cardstock because you can see, oh, I went too far. Shoot, I'm going to have to attach that. Let me take a little score tape. This multitasking, I'm talking and cutting at the same time. Apparently I'm incapable of doing that. So I'm just going to do that. And I'm not going to take the backing off this double-sided tape. I'm going to leave it like that so that my tab is attached again, because I did not mean to take that much off. So hopefully you weren't following along right there. So you just want to cut into that score line, okay? And then we're going to take this side off. Right up to there. Cut up to here. Yes, if I'd cut my tab all the way off, which I very nearly did, I would not have anything to hold that corner of the lid shut. Not good. Okay, slant this just a little bit. And slant it here. Oops, got the cut there, so that didn't look very pretty. Slant this one. And again, this is going to be on the inside of the lid, so people are not going to see that. Okay, so this time let me just cut over where I need to be. So that score line there. Cut up. That score line there. here. This one's more complicated than the box, so it's easier to do. You just got one cut and slanting, and that's it. And I'm not getting this as straight as I did the other boxes because I'm on camera, but try to get that as straight as possible so your box looks nice from the outside when it's put together. Okay, one more corner over, up. This is going to be a wild inside of a box, isn't it? Okay, that one I need to take a little bit more off. Can't quite get his stuff off. Okay, up. Now, I prefer double-sided tape when I'm putting together these boxes, but you can use whatever adhesive you want. I just like double-sided tape when I'm doing kind of dimensional things like this. Of course, liquid tape is good too if you're trying to get into tight corners. Putting a little dot of liquid, not liquid tape, liquid adhesive. Okay, so this is how this is going to go together, like this. And then this is going to fold over. So we need tape here, okay? The back side of this. Just a couple strips is fine. You don't have to cover the whole thing. Okay. And then you're going to need a strip right here. And again, this is what I'm looking at is what I intend to be the inside of my box, okay? I'm putting these strips and getting ready to fold it. So let me show you where'd my little tool go. I'm going to press this down. Sometimes this tape, when you go to take the backing off, it wants to take the whole adhesive up with it. You know how that goes if you've used this before. Okay, there, there. Okay, so I'm going to square this up. And when you do this, you want to get these corners nice and square, okay, because you want this thing to fit together really well. And then I'm going to come inside and kind of rub that down. And then you're going to fold this over the top, rub it down. So you can see how that side looks. Okay, so I'm going to put together this whole lid, and then I'm just going to, well, I'll put the whole thing together. If it gets too long, I'll do a voiceover. No biggie, right? You're not going to be able to see me as well doing this, but it is the same thing all the way around. If you go to, say, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Joann's, wherever you go, and you buy and you go to get the open stock paper, if you know what that means, it's the single sheets that are printed. Just pick it up and kind of feel the weight of it, because some of it's as thin as like 20-pound copy paper. And you could see through it, basically, if there wasn't a print on it. And that's not what I would use for this kind of thing, because it's not going to hold up very well. It's, yeah, you want something just a little bit thicker. And I also would not go with something that is glittered. Around this time of year, you've got those Halloween papers that have the glitter, you know, like have a raven on it, it's glittered. You don't want that. Okay, let's square up this corner nicely. And by that, I just mean you want to get this, it all matching up. And that's a little off. You do have a little bit of time with double-sided tape, not as much as liquid adhesive to move around. There you go. And on the lid, if you're going to err on the side of not matching it up, I'd err on the side of there being a little extra room rather than being too tight. If that makes sense. Because, you know, when you put the box together, this lid needs to fit. And if you've made the lid small, it's definitely not going to do that. So did I cover don't get paper that's too thin for this kind of project, and don't get paper that has glitter on it, because it will get really hard to score, to fold and score and make a nice box lid out of. If you want glitter and different things, put those on the lid for decorations. It's your best option. So this, if I wasn't showing you and talking so much and doing all of that, showing you the other boxes and everything, this would probably take me 10 minutes to put together from start to finish, each box. So not really that time consuming. And even quicker if I did it assembly line, like I cut all of the lids, you know, I scored all the paper for all of the lids and all of the boxes. I came back and, you know, cut all of the lids and put all of the adhesive on at the same time. You know, it would make that go quicker. You could do it in assembly line. Each step at a time for all of the boxes you need to do. But for me, I was kind of picking out my papers as I went. So, all right. And this is something that I love to do, so I kind of take my time a little bit, even though I don't always have time. I hope in your life, though, you find a little bit of time each week. It'd be great if you could do it each day, but each week, several times a month, whatever you have to be creative in some way. Oops, I had a little piece that came apart. To do something creative, make something for someone, or do some art, work in an art journal, whatever it is. And you can see how this last one is not as easy to do as get the tape on. So whatever it is that you love to do, I hope you find time on a regular basis. And for me, that's about why I do all of that productivity stuff, why I have a planner, why I have all of those things, because I think it's important to be as productive with the other things you do so that you have time for these kinds of things that are relaxing. And, you know, if I didn't find time to be creative, sometimes I wouldn't be a very happy person. Okay. Put that together and then put the sides in. And there you have your nice lid. And you can see how cute it is with the double-sided paper. And there's the top to it. Okay, now we're going to do this one. This one is a lot easier. We're just going to do one cut up here on this line and really try to work hard at getting it on that line and getting it straight. You could use one of your cutting boards, you know, your trimmers, if you want to. And then slant that. And slant this. And you're going to do that all the way around. That one didn't quite come off. Okay. I can tell you my other boxes will look better than this one because I was taking my time and really looking closely at everything. However, I don't think a 10-month-old is going to know the difference. But take your time when you do yours and make it look nice. Make all of the edges very straight and everything look good. But these, you know, these boxes aren't just for Halloween, of course. I may have mentioned that. These would be great under the Christmas tree, especially if you're trying to coordinate your Christmas. This would be really cute. Or do different colors for different people that you buy for. Like, for instance, I have 4 grandchildren, so I could do a box, you know, to where I could look down there very easily and see which grandchild gets which box. Okay, so this one's going to go together very similarly to the last one. We're going to put the score tape right here. Score, you know, these adhesives and things are not cheap, so you don't need to go crossways and long ways. The box is going to hold together with just these 2 pieces. I see people sometimes in videos and they do so much adhesive, and I'm like, that costs money. I try to use my scraps And so where I store my paper, I'll have the pouch that the paper goes in, whatever color it is, whatever design. You know, this will be part of the collection, of course. And then I put the scraps down in there if they're not too small. Like I will save these maybe. I won't save something like this, of course, and none of these will get saved. But if the scraps are not too small, I definitely save them, because if you're stamping a sentiment or something, you may have a little piece of the screen that's just the perfect size for that. All right, there's that one. One more. Yep. And again, these are going to go inside, so you're not really going to see this as much. All right, so press this down, lift up the tape again, the covering on the tape. And if I were you, I definitely would source some things that you use a lot. Check out who's the cheapest. If you're going to be doing like I do and make quite a bit, I'll square that up. Do that. And then I'm going to get this score tape off. And again, as I go around, I want to get those edges as flush as I can for the box shape. Make them as square as I can on those corners so that the lid will fit on as I want it to, because it is a pretty tight fit for these. And this is where you'll know if you cut straight or not. When you're trying to put these together, you'll see every little wonky thing you did at the edge of the box. So that's why it's important to try to do it straight. So again, this is not cut very straight, but I'm going to line it up, press this down. One more to do, and then I'll show you how it just fits together nicely. And it better, since I'm doing it on camera, right? Better fit together nicely. Okay, line this one up, press it down. All right, so there's your box, there's your lid. You may have to do a little bit of jockeying, and you want to come straight down. You don't want to come at a slant like I just did, because then you're gonna, right there, and there it is. So cute. And so now I just need to decorate this for baby Beckett. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and happy crafting.